Bro, I'm fucking alive. We're gonna do chest and back today, and I think I was kind of debating on what I was gonna talk about, but I think in between sets, I'll do like maybe 5 tips to get you back into the gym if you've fallen off a little bit. Last week wasn't really feeling too great, and then this week have just kind of been a slug. So been like whoo, but we're here now, and that's what matters. I'll go into more of that later. Per usual, 3 sets. May go up in weight, but I want to try to get probably around 10 reps. I don't want to hit 12 on all of these. I lost count, so we're going to say that's 7. Okay, so tip number 1, if you're trying to get back into the gym or back into whatever it is that you were working on, or we'll just say the gym for this example, but if you're trying to get back into it, set the bar low. I'm in here now. I'm not expecting a Mr. Olympia level workout, everything to feel 100% perfect, or I have to do all these different sets and reps, all these exercises. I'm sticking with chest and back, something that I like, and I'm using movements that I've been using this whole time. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel right now. I'm just trying to get the ball rolling. Also, fun fact, this is the first time that I've really had any pre-workout in about 2 weeks, so I should feel all the effects of it. Granted, it's only a CBum one. It's not the juice that I was taking before, but not to be confused with actual juice. We are natty. Woo! So an easy way to kind of figure out which part of your chest that you are going to work with a given like exercise like this with cables. So anything this way, right in front of you, it's going to be like your middle chest region. Anything from down, up and across, going to emphasize more of that upper chest that attaches to your clavicle. And then anything where we're coming down, high to low, it's going to be this lower part, that swoop. Tip number 2 would be, I would keep expectations low. Now, I know I kind of just said that with the last thing, but what I mean is like with weight. So something that I've heard commonly is like, oh man, I know I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm going to be weak as fuck. And you're not going to feel strong. That don't matter. I think that the weight matters less. The intensity is what ultimately matters. So maybe you aren't pushing as much weight as you were before. But if you're working with a lighter weight and you get a really good mind-muscle connection, you're getting a really good pump, and it's intense, like you're burning your muscles out, you're still going to get a really effective workout in. Your strength will come back. You'll be fine. But I would just say, let's check the ego at the door and not give ourselves a performance expectation in that regard. I'm going to move on to the incline hammer strength press. What might help is if you use a thumbless or suicide grip. Maybe not. For me, I kind of like using the thumbless on this. I tend to feel it better. I'm almost kind of like pushing through those thumbs. Big ol' stretch. I'm a full ROM guy. Bro, when people sandwich a 10 or a 5 between like 235s or like 245s, why? Ooh, that felt good. That's even better. That was a little bit more intense than the last set. So we don't want it too intense to where we can't really get enough volume in, where we're not getting enough reps. If our rep range we're going to 8 to 12, we don't want to be hitting 12 every time with every exercise. Chances are then if we're staying there, we're not really pushing ourselves. We got to constantly push ourselves. Aggressive overload. So I'll say the third tip that I'll give, and it's kind of cliche, but I'd say find your why. Why are you trying to get back into doing whatever you were doing? Why are you even doing what you're doing to begin with? My time off, and I wasn't really making videos. I haven't worked. I tried working out once, and I felt terrible during that workout. So I just decided we're just gonna rest while we're dealing with this shit. But with me not making videos and whatnot, and not going to the gym, it's just kind of something that like I had this itch, like, dude, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, it's something kept calling me to it. And each day that passed, I'm like, like maybe today. Like, I just kept hearing this thing, right? And I realized after taking my hiatus is going to the gym and making these videos helps like give my life fulfillment. That has made it a little bit easier for me to get back into the swing of things. And I also don't want to go back the other way, right? I don't want to start just gaining weight and not being active. This is kind of the person that I want to be. So that was enough to give me some motivation to get back in. So for you, I would say figure out why you're doing something or why you want to do something, and try to call upon that when you're trying to form a new habit or get back on the horse. So I am going to do the incline dumbbell press superset that I like to do with the push-ups off the back. Kind of have a lower incline. I'm not trying to go too crazy. I'm trying to get a good position between like flat bench and incline. So I just did an incline movement and I don't quite want to do flat. I'm just not a flat bench kind of guy. Just like I don't really like dumbbell flies. I don't really have a set rep range for these. I just kind of go until I can't. Okay. Cool. I think let's move on to back. Holy Christ. Dude, my triceps have quite the pump too. All right, now I'm gonna move on to the seated cable row, the little V handle. And one cue that I like to use is like I'm digging in the sand. I'm put my shovel in and I gotta drag it back. Thinking about that makes it more like a drag using my lats instead of coming up here using my upper to mid back. And I also use thumbless grip or the finger guns. And my back is pretty straight. Not right now, I'm kind of leaning forward, but when I come up, we stay like right there. I'm not swinging back. I'm really just trying to send my elbows back. Ooh, all right. Let's do something else. Some people might ask how long, because I don't really show my rest. I try to only rest for like 45 seconds to like a minute max on any regular set. If you're doing something like a squat, benching, deadlifts, then you can rest a little bit longer. But with these more like isolation and non-compound movements, 45 seconds to a minute seems to be good for me. Say my fourth tip is play the whole thing through. Play the whole tape through. So what I mean by that is, let's say I'm already not feeling good, that I haven't been going, right? Going to the gym or doing whatever. I know that, all right, if I don't go to the gym again today, I'm gonna feel worse about myself. I'm gonna beat myself up. I may self-sabotage or partake in negative or more harmful coping mechanisms to deal with my own feelings about myself. But we could avoid that by going to the gym, right? So if I just do the thing that I set out to do, I know that even though it's tough and it's like, oh man, I gotta work out, I'm gonna get sweaty, I'm gonna be tired, that discomfort will be far easier to tolerate and I'll feel much better than sitting with the discomfort that I feel from having not gone to the gym or not done the thing that I had initially set out to do. So I feel like we oftentimes don't really think about that, but you kind of have to play the whole tape through to the end to see how that decision is really going to play out, right? And if you've been down that road before, you already know how that shit plays out. But I will say, as humans, we tend to prefer the devil we know over the devil we don't know. All right, we're going to continue this smorgasbord with lat prayers. And I have the long rope instead of a bar. Same principle is going to apply. Basically, I'm going to take my fist and try to bring it straight down, right? Kind of keeping myself pretty tight the whole way through. And it's kind of like a drag. Dragging goes straight down and back. And I forgot to change the weight. Mulligan. Jesus. All right, let's move on from this. Dude, that was fucking, whoo. We're gonna do some dips. Shaking a little bit. Whoo. But nevertheless, doing pretty good. Having a good workout, so I'm happy about that. Especially being the first workout back. Last week my eye was, and it's still kind of red, but my eye was like swollen, would not stop watering, and just, I couldn't really breathe too well. Dude, I was just not having a good time. And definitely not conducive for the gym. You know, especially when you're using your muscles and you start breathing heavier, when your lungs are not exchanging oxygen like they should be, it makes everything way harder. Ooh. I like a big stretch on this, but I don't like to force it because I forced it before, and that's how you hurt yourself. Let's move on from this. We'll probably do one more back thing and then skedaddle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my fifth tip, I would say, give yourself some grace. You know, it takes work to form a habit. You can't just form it overnight. So it's going to take weeks of repetition and discipline. And if you've fallen out of it, it's not really super helpful to just beat yourself up. I know I just talked in my last video about playing the tape through, but when you continue to beat yourself up, it only makes it that much more hard, like more difficult for you to get back on, get back on the horse, get back to it. Understand that you are human. Sometimes we need rest. Sometimes we get burnt out. It's just the name of the game. It's all part of the process, So taking any bit of time off, like, okay, we ideally we'd want to be consistent, but if you only took a little bit of time off out of like the entire course of how long you've been doing that thing, it's really not that big a deal. I'm still able, after 2 weeks, I'm still able to get in a good workout. Everything's feeling pretty great, got a good pump. What matters is just getting back on it. And like, if you don't snap back to it right away, again, it's perfectly normal. Sometimes we got to try again. I've had so many stints where I've gone to the gym super aggressively for like a short period and then fallen off. And this has been my longest time that I've been consistent with it, but it took many times of falling off before I was able to get to where I'm at now. So again, just give yourself a little bit of grace. And then a plot twist that not even I saw coming. We're going to finish this off with some pull-ups. Now, I think ideally you would do these in the beginning, but fuck it. I'm going to do them now. Those are pretty fucking tough right now, I'm not gonna lie. Holy Christ. Whew. That's enough fun with this. Dude, this ear is clogged. It's hard to hear from the pressure inside my cranium. my sinus cavities. Ooh. Ooh. All natural. Oh my God, dude, I'm tired. Haha! I've got a bonus tip. Okay, so my bonus tip for you is remove barriers. What do I mean by removing barriers? Well, make it make it easier to do the thing that you're trying to do. So, in our going back to the gym example, it might be harder for me to go back to the gym if it's like, oh, I gotta stop home, get my gym clothes, get my water bottle, all that jazz. But if I, wherever I'm going, bring my gym clothes, bring my water bottle, whatever else I might need. That way, if I'm going to work or I'm going to school, I could just go by afterwards, right? So now I've removed the inconvenience of having to go back all the way back home to get the things that I need for the gym. Also, you could plan your route. You know, maybe you go, I don't know, maybe if you're going to go to the store, fuck it. You choose a store that's close to the gym, right? Just finding little ways, little tweaks to make getting to the gym easier. I know that when I started going at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, not saying you have to do this, but when I would go to bed, I would just be in my gym clothes. That way, all I had to do was get up, brush my teeth, get out the door. I already packed my work clothes and everything. I would just shower at the gym, but it made it a little bit easier for me to actually get to the gym. And I was able to go to the gym quite like pretty consistently that way. You won't necessarily have to do that forever unless you like to do that, but it's just finding these little tweaks that we can do to make it easier on us to further ingrain the habit that we'd like to ingrain, or to get back when we've kind of fell off, you know. So, but again, if you don't get it right the first time, if you don't succeed the first time, really try it again. You know, it's really not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up, which is the important thing. So just keep at it. Eventually you'll get there. Just try these little tips and tricks. I hope some of them were able to help you. That those are the same principles that I kind of applied to get myself here. And you know, it didn't even matter today if I just went to the gym and did the most sad hand job of a workout ever. What was important to me is just getting here, because I know that once I get here, I'm gonna work out. Right, once I get into this parking lot, it's gonna happen. And sometimes that's even the first step. Just drive to the gym. If you want to leave afterwards and you know just go to the parking lot and then I'm gonna go home, do that. Baby steps. Any complex problem can really just be broken down into little steps. But that's it for today. Above all else, remember that you are beautiful and that you are loved, and that you as a person are, you know, you deserve love and affection, and your worth is not tied to whether or not you perform at a given thing. Okay, every person on this planet has inherent worth. You are no different. These things like this can take, you know, cause our self-esteem to take quite a hit. But, you know, if you're kind of feeling down on your luck, or, you know, having a rough time, I just want to let you know that, hey, I've been there. There are many others out there that, you know, kind of know exactly what you're going through. Maybe not exactly, because everybody's circumstances are different, but there are people that have been there, and regardless, you are not your present situation. So get back on the horse, buddy. I'll see you next time.